Are you ready to get boned?
I thought you were gonna say, "Are you ready to get crunk?"
No.
Have you seen that place that's over by the shop, kind of called Crump Cuts?
Yeah. I drove by it every day for a very long time because I took Northwest Radial to 31st. Welcome to the comic book bone zone. We're talking about very local Omaha places.
This is episode 24. 24. Hell yeah. Yeah, we're just talking about how much, we love local businesses, and like some names are way cooler than others. And
And
I'm always blown away when I like see certain ones for the first time. I'm always like, ah, look at that place.
yeah, Crumb Cuts is good. They have a really good flag right in front.
Mhm.
You gotta like come around that corner really fast for a haircut.
It's a good looking building and it's a good looking place.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really liked the name of it, is what I was getting at, because I was not expecting, because I thought it said Crunk Cuts at first, and I was like, oh, interesting. And then it said Crump Cuts, and I was like, that's even better. I love that.
Down the block away there is a Pear Street dance studio. And when it first opened, I thought it said Fear Street.
I do like that a lot.
So yeah, good times. Not quite reading signs right.
When you're going fast, it's kind of hard to see.
So we're actually here to talk about comic books,
I
I
believe
think.
so. Yeah, I think that's what
Okay.
we do.
Okay, so I'm a Champenstein.
Heather Hadfield. Heather Hadfield.
Baby's trying to come out through the mouth.
It's like that episode of South Park, except turds, it's a baby.
I never thought I would have to think about that episode of South Park again.
That's one of my favorites. Next to the Lollapalooza episode, I think that's my favorite.
Okay, so let's go into the comic book zone.
Yeah,
The comic book bone zone.
the Bone Zone. All right, I'll go first. Specifically because there's bones on my comic. So this is Dracula. This is the Return Cult of the White Worm, issue number 1. This is part of the Stokerverse. It's through Scratch Comics. I don't know what that is at all. And this must be an old series, because this ad on the back is for Halloween of 2022.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. I like stories about Dracula, and this is done by a Stoker. So I just decided to give it a chance. I didn't mind it. It was all right.
Okay.
I really like the art for it, but it's basically about like after Dracula gets killed, it's his spirit wandering, trying to make a return back. But the colors and stuff for some of it are like super cool. I don't know. I really did not mind this at all. I thought it was like very interesting. I don't know how many issues there's going to be, because clearly I didn't look too into it if it's all the way from 2022.
Yeah. Does it seem like a one shot?
No, it does say, ow, fuck. It does say here continued. So I know it is going to be like a limited series. I'm just not sure how many, but there are also like in the back, there's a couple other stories that have to do with the characters that are in Dracula, which were very interesting too. The art for them was pretty cool. Like this one's just all black and white, but it's like pencil sketches. And then this one is just that. So
Okay.
overall, like I didn't mind it. I thought it was a very interesting story of Dracula coming back after he was killed. So there were titties in it, which I thought were pretty cool.
I think
I
I
think that
saw
part, yeah,
I saw a dick in there too when I
yeah, there's
flipped
a
through.
dick. Yep. It's Dracula's.
That's what I look like.
Love that for you. But I do have to say, I think this is going to be the first time that I've ever said something like this, but if you do like stories about Dracula, but you don't want to read specifically about Dracula, you just like that whole thing, there's a book called A Dowry of Blood, which is told from the perspective of one of his wives. And it is a sapphic like retelling of the Dracula story and how they got out of an abusive and toxic relationship. Super good. I would definitely recommend it.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I
one of my
love
favorite
that.
books.
Okay, so I got some books to blow through here. First, I have Sacrificers. This
I
is
forgot to pick that
a
up.
this is a new Rick Remender book. I would actually say go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Rick Remender, Max Fuimara does the art, and then Dave McCaig does the colors, I would assume. Sorry, all the credits are a little bit weird on there. This is a story about I don't know quite yet. I have the pieces. Basically, families have to sacrifice somebody in their family if they don't have quite enough goods, it seems like, to give to whoever is higher. And we're gonna follow the sacrificers like footsteps, I think.
I would sacrifice my mom.
It but that's fair. That's a fair thing to do. This like the beginning of this book is a little rough. The art is amazing. I don't have a lot of words to say because it is like that first issue, and I think it is just like getting you in that place. I don't think this is gonna be like a really like fun story or something we're gonna have a good time with. I think it's gonna be like a hard hitting story, but I am excited to see what happens. It really gives me like in the Rick Remender like vibes of stuff, like Seven to Eternity vibes, where I know I'm gonna just be in for like a pretty heavy journey.
That's kind of what it reminded me of when I mean, just the cover of it, to be honest, reminds me a lot of Seven to Eternity. And I only read like the first story arc of that, I think, but Rick Remender books are always so hard to get through. Not because they're bad, obviously, just because they're like a lot.
Yeah, and sometimes like I think he likes to write like pretty epic things, and I think this is gonna be one of those like he's got a lot to say sort of things without being like jaded, like Deadly Class or something.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on. But I do like I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens here. It's gonna suck. I think this is gonna be a book that's gonna suck.
In a good way.
In a good way, where it's gonna just be a heavy book. And then I have Sandman Universe. This is Thessaly. This is just a little one shot about like her. It's
I wanted to pick up that one too, god damn it.
This issue was really interesting, but I do think that it would be important to read Sandman stuff.
I just like the artist.
Yeah, no, I understand, but if you're gonna read it, and I think you'll get it, because this is about her life, and it's her kind of trying to tell her shade of her life without like giving up the whole cusp and like what's going on, but she's kind of like outwitted. And yeah, this is actually by James Tynan and Maria Yavet. Love it.
Who's doing that cover though?
This cover is by Skylar Partridge.
It's so good.
Yeah, I really I really like this artist. They've done a
Yeah.
few different color covers that I've really enjoyed. They did a Department of Truth cover
Okay.
recently that was really, really good. Um, but yeah, I think this was really, really interesting. And I think it's especially interesting as I've been reading Sandman because it's just like, I don't know. Thessaly is a character who is got a lot of depth.
Mhm.
And she kind of sucks though. But I think you would like her personally. I think because it's well, no, it's one of the I think for me, she is kind of like one of those characters that like I don't think Theon Greyjoy is the right way to describe her, but I dislike her as much as I dislike Theon Greyjoy, but she's not a good person. She's a bad
Mhm.
guy. And I don't like those characters. And I think you would like this character because she is a bad guy with those aspects that you would enjoy.
Right. Okay. I
You
love that.
you know what I am saying?
Yes, I do. I know. I just thought it
Um,
was funny the way you worded it.
I don't know what better way to say it. You like bad guys.
Hmm.
You like bad guys.
I do. I love really shitty people,
Yeah.
but
You and
only in like as actual characters, not in real life.
it's just like so and it's so interesting to me because I feel like I have a lot more grace with those people in real life than I do in fiction.
Hmm.
And you have so much grace for those people in fiction, and I don't. Like it's
Yeah, I
such
was
a
gonna say I'm the exact opposite. I'm like, nope, I don't like that person at all.
so it's just like such an interesting dynamic where it's just like I know when I'm getting to a character, I'm just like, oh, this guy just like fucking oh, it's
And
like
nine
yeah.
times out of 10, I'm like, wow, I really like that guy.
Uh, I feel like you should read Sand.
Okay, I will. Fine. Fine, I'll do it.
I'll pause in my Sandman read, and you can catch up.
Yeah, because I don't have very many books every week, as you can tell. So it would give me something else to read.
Okay, so then last I have this Murder by Mail book. I did not read this because it's a lot of work. It is filled
What is
filled.
that? That's not a comic.
It is like a murder mystery comic. So basically it's like you're trying to solve a mystery and like you read through the entire comic. And when you get to the end, it's like, who do you think it is?
That's
So
so strange.
I love that I've played a few games that are like that and I
Hmm.
really really enjoy them. Um like that is incredibly dense.
Yeah, no, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, nope.
Which is why I just special ordered that because I was just like, well, this sounds really cool, but it sounds
Hmm.
like there's a game we play that's like a Sherlock Holmes game, and you have like newspapers for each round, and they're just like old newspapers, just like text on text on text, and
Hmm.
each one has like weird, like tiny clues that lead you on in different parts of the like when you're doing different mysteries in the future.
Hmm.
So sometimes you can do like you have to use like 6 different newspapers to do it. It's just like
I
this is
I remember you telling me about that
yeah, it's like
game.
it's too much.
Hmm.
Um yeah, that's again a little too much. Just give me like 10 less pages.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like a lot.
All right, you get the next one.
Okay. So we both have this, The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos. This is issue number 2. In the first issue, the main character, Christopher Chaos, witnesses a murder of a kid that he went to school with, who ended up being, a werewolf or whatever. um, but he also discovers in the first one that he is able to like bring things back to life, like a Frankenstein type situation. The doctor, not the creature, because that's not the creature's name, obviously. But in this one, it gets real weird. Like the way that you described your feelings on the first one is how I felt about this one.
Okay.
Like it
Yeah.
was just like weird, you know?
Yeah. I liked this issue more because I felt like it uncovered more of the story. But
Hmm.
again, it does feel like an Archie horror comic.
Yeah, no, this one especially, yeah, very, very much does. So he, with his knowledge of like bringing things back to life, he goes to the place of the murder in hopes of like finding something that he'll be able to like bring this person back to life.
Hmm.
Things don't go exactly how they're supposed to, and he is introduced to a character that goes by the name of, what is it, Werewolf Boy?
Dracula boy.
Dracula Boy, that's right. Dracula Boy. It's a whole thing. Yeah, it was really giving like Archie. Because there's like a cult, there's like the
It's
cops are doing
giving Arch.
the cops are like investigating and stuff, and like there's people in his school that like suspect him. One person does suspect it. It's like it's a whole thing, and there's like a murder mystery stuff going on, all with these supernatural elements, and he for some reason is just able to like do these things. So yeah, it's a very strange book. But it is enjoyable though at the same time, because it's, I don't know, his character is a little endearing.
Yeah, oh for sure. I don't know. I think like Isaac Goodhart's like art is really good and the
Hmm.
colors. They're by Miguel Muerto. They're really good.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's just like I I am I am in this weird zone of I wish I was like just a little bit younger, maybe reading
Yeah,
this
no, I think
story.
that would definitely help.
I feel like I'm too old reading this story because if I was like 17, 18, early 20s,
Hmm.
I'd be like, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, and now it does feel like kid horror. So it's, I mean, again, it is good and I do enjoy it. It was getting way too dark. I couldn't see myself.
Sure, pal. But yeah, it's like it's enjoyable as a whole. And I feel like I'm being a jerk when I say it's like young adult stuff, but
No, I don't
it,
think so. I don't think so at all.
it's got that fun little feel.
Hmm. Yeah, that is the oddly pedestrian life of Christopher Chaos.
All right, so then I have three more books. I've got two Night Terror books. I got Batman, Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy has been living out her nightmare, which is like kind of a weird, perfect life situation. Boom. Batman has been fighting inner demons, hugged his little child self, felt better. Joker was again the best one. But I read that Joker book. It was it was worth it. It
Look, I
was
love
worth the read.
Joker.
No, no, no. Just like Matthew Rosenberg, the way he like wrote that story, it was really fun. I
Hmm.
I I really have to give it to him for that. It's just weird how like in each of these issues they've kind of all like woken up, and it's just you got to read the next couple issues, and it's just like
No thanks.
yeah. I mean, I will. I'm going to.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna read them off the wall. But mm, I don't like that. I did not actually get a chance to read like any of the other Night Terror stuff just because of moving the shop.
Yeah, I was gonna say you did a lot this week, so it's fine.
I would have liked to just like chill and read some like comic books though, but instead I was just like moving boxes upon boxes of comic books. And then next I have Peacemaker Tries Hard. This is issue number 4. Um, just a fun little Peacemaker book. He's trying to get his dog back still. In this issue, he like has a fun little conversation with Amanda Waller, how he's trying to get like Bruce Wayne back. And it's basically like our text message conversation when I was talking about Bruce Wayne, where you thought I was talking about Bruce Wayne the person, but I was
Yeah.
talking about Bruce Wayne the dog. And yeah, because then he's describing Bruce Wayne the dog to Amanda Waller, which sounds like Bruce Wayne the person.
Yeah. You know what I had to tell, I can't remember who, the story of that time that Megatron got out and we spent like however long searching for it.
My favorite part about that story, thanks for listening to us talk about this real fast, is the fact that like we looked just like two crazy bull dykes.
Yeah.
You're going to pick up our dogs. Pick up our dog.
Yeah, it was a whole thing, but the only thing that I could like when I was telling the story, the only thing that I could remember was like it was like 100 and like what 3 degrees outside.
Yeah,
that
no,
day.
it was so hot and we were walking like straight uphill.
Yeah, and I just kept saying, and they couldn't even take him inside to like cool off. Like that's so rude.
Yeah, he looked like he hadn't drank water in like a while.
Yeah, like thank you so much for like keeping him safe, but also like he's old and it's fucking hot out. Give him some like air freshener and some water.
Air freshener.
Air conditioner. I'm telling you, dude, this baby brain is it's making me dumb.
Just hey, oh god, oh no. Hang one of those like little pine cone things.
That's all he needed. But yeah, it was hot and they just kept him outside in their yard. And I'm still upset about that. It's been like 3 years and I'm still upset about it.
That actually has been
Yeah, because I was trying to find that picture that I took of you. Anyway, I think a lot of my like memories where I like will just randomly think about something funny, they involve Megatron somehow.
I would say, yeah, like your favorite memory of recording the podcast is when Megatron just like bits it on my trying to get onto my lap, which is a funny memory. He did biff it like very hard.
It was one of the first like Instagram posts that we had done. Yeah. Still kills me. Anyway, okay, back to comics.
Okay, so then next we have Tales of Nottingham. This is number 6. Heather, you read this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's the last issue of this Tales from Nottingham. Takes place in I almost said 1893. That's not even close. It's 1193. But yeah, this is just kind of leading into the new what is this? Nottingham.
What is this book?
What is this book called again? The new Nottingham series that is apparently going to start in April, which that's very cool that they have like the date in here. But yeah, it's just a continuance of what the last like 3 issues, like it sums up the rest of the Tales from Nottingham stories. And
yeah, I mean none of them are like connected, but
right. This one's done by Magdalene Visaggio, by the way.
The art in this is like my favorite part. Victor Santos does the art.
Yeah, it was really cool. I really like the colors and stuff. Like there's the storm. Where is it?
Yeah, that's that page, and there's also just I think
the little battle that's going on. It's like very like gray and purple.
I would say there's like just so many really cool pages. Yeah, it's hard to describe. Where I don't know, like the shadows are really good, and like the way people's faces look like, yeah, and the colors are like they really pop. And did you see this back?
Now I did.
Yeah, like that back cool. Is really sick. I love the like main character of this story. I like how you kind of like you kind of have empathy for the sheriff, and like you gain that little bit of empathy for him in this issue where you
Which I
wouldn't have
think is
had
really
that before.
important.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and it's hard to say. It's just like we're all working for somebody.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it made me more excited to read the next like arc of Nottingham and stuff because I did like the first two a lot, but I was just kind of done with it. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, it's over. Like I don't have to worry about it. But this was just like, okay, cool, I'm ready. Let's do another, you know?
All right. You ready?
Hmm.
I got Once Upon a Time at the
Okay,
End
I
of
was
the
like, wait,
World.
what?
I got 3 more books.
Yeah, sorry guys. I only had one this week.
You had 4, but
One by
one by
myself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, everything's fallen apart. That's I'm
That's the
really
whole title.
yeah. Basically. So this is by Jason Aaron. The art is by Leela Del Duca, and Tamra does the colors, which the colors are really good in this
Yeah, I
book.
was
The
gonna say,
art,
I don't think Tamara's ever done a book where the colors aren't like
yeah,
perfect.
yeah, and the art and colors in this book are perfect. And the story is like, I really do like this story. Like it's really grown on me. Um, I, I think this part of the story has been really interesting because like they have so much hope and you're seeing it just like come down, but like you're trying to see like how it connects to all of the stuff from the beginning. This story is actually, I think, can only be like 15 issues is what I
Okay.
saw. um so yeah, I'm kind of in for the ride now, since I know where the end goal is.
It's coming up.
It's coming. um And then next I have Dark Spaces. This is Good Deeds. This is issue number 3. This is a story about a mom and a daughter who moved to a small town in Florida, and shit's happening. I really, really like this issue. I really like this story. I think it's like a really weird, creepy, like horror story. I don't know, like I don't really want to ruin it, especially this issue, because I think like they use like ghosts of the past really well to like make you uneasy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Black Cloak number 6. This has been like, I feel like a couple months.
Since it's come out.
Yeah, since it's come
Yeah.
out, and this ends the story arc. Um, Lots of stuff happens. Lots of stuff happens. Lots of uh you learned in the last issue that like the powers that are in charge are using like little tiny magic creatures to like power the world, basically by sacrificing them. And I don't know, lots of emotion. This book is really good. I think it's worth a read. I don't know.
Yeah, I need to go back and like get caught up because I read I think the first 2 issues.
Yeah, it's just like it's so good, and I think it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's by Kelly Thompson and Meredith McLaren. um it's just like really interesting. I love the fantasy aspect of it, and I also love like the detective story parts of it, and the bits that like especially play out here, because it is very much like that detective story where like stuff doesn't go right,
Mm-hmm.
and you're kind of like, well, fuck.
Yeah, I love those kind of stories.
And that's actually all I have for those 3 books, so we're together now.
Okay.
Last book.
The last book. So this is Love Everlasting. This is issue number 10. In the last issue, Joan experienced the death of her husband, In this one, she experiences her children forcing her to go to a retirement home. It was needed, but I'm still bitter about retirement homes.
Yeah.
But we also learn a lot in this
Yeah.
issue. Like you, I mean, me personally, I finally understood like what the twist was.
I would say you finally get like what's actually like drawing her back, which also makes like the past like several issues really interesting
Yeah.
because it means like she wasn't truly in love with, spoiler alerts, she wasn't truly in love with her like husband.
Yeah. Which you did learn. Like she did eventually say, but like you went through, God, several issues, like 3 or 4 of them, where she was like getting married, like having kids, living this whole life, and you get to experience all that with her. And then all of a sudden it's just like, no, I never loved him. And then when I was thinking about it anyway, I was like, yeah, no, she knew that she wasn't going to, like back in the day, like when she was
Yeah.
kind of like forced to do it. So okay, I get it. It makes sense.
But it's still like, I think that's like also the interesting dynamic of it because you think she kind of like, you see her fall into those steps of like what love is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, it's just like, it's so weird and it's so cool and it's so like, so heady. You have to think about it so hard because even when it was happening, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening right now?
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy.
what do you mean we've just reversed back to the beginning? And it's like, oh, because she like actually was truly in love with this guy. And she like at least was content enough with her life and loved her family.
And
How
she
fucked up
obviously
is
like,
that though?
yeah. And I mean, it is one of those things where like I'm sure she did love her husband to an extent, you know, like when you're with someone for that long and like you raise a family with them, you live with them for that long, I'm sure there is a certain amount of love, but it's not the same as like genuine love, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And that's what got me, because I fell into it with her and I was like, okay, weird, like
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the part that, yeah, like, and that was like a really good Tom King writing thing, like hook. Because he hooked you in, like
mhm,
in that first issue. Yeah, she didn't really like him. You're like, kind of fuck this football jock, like, who cares? And then he cares about her. And
mhm,
then she like reciprocates that. And even if she's questioning all of this like life and all of these things that have happened, she's still like reciprocating that love. And yeah,
mhm,
until that like last issue you don't even realize. And
mhm.
then yeah, it's so, I don't know, this book is wild, this book is so weird.
Yeah, just because someone is content in their life doesn't mean that they love the person that they are with. They're just, it's like it's safe.
Sometimes life is all about being safe.
Yep. And I mean, it
I
was like safe for her in more than one way because she wasn't getting killed by the cowboy.
but she like at one point was like, please do this, like I
Yeah.
don't want to be here now. And that's like, I don't know, even that is part of like the twist, is that
Hmm.
like they wouldn't let her out because they were hoping that she would learn like a lesson. And sorry, gross.
It's just Joan.
It's just Joan. I don't know. I respect Tom King a lot for this book. I wish more people are reading it because I think this is like kind of him in a good stride. Like this is a
It's really
cool.
good. Like it's really interesting too. Because I know we've talked about it before, like in the first few issues, it's going back and forth a lot. And it is very like disconcerting and like confusing trying to figure out like what is happening. And then you get stuck in that marriage with her for so many issues. And it's like, what am I reading? What am I doing?
Make this stop. You
Yep.
literally are in that zone with her because you're like, I don't want this anymore. This
Mhm.
isn't what this isn't what I was
Like,
reading.
please take her out. Just do something. Yeah,
What
no, you're literally there along the ride with her. Like, you experience every single feeling that she experiences because The story is just done really well.
It's rude.
It is.
Uh, uh, yeah, I'm very pleased with like the way this story, like, I don't know. I know it has to end.
Mhm. Especially now that we have like what the twist is, like we do know it now and we know what has been like causing the restart every single time. But
Yeah. And I think she has like more, like Joan has more autonomy a little bit too, or
yeah.
like more awareness. Like they were hoping
Well, and I had
they
this weird theory that like her granddaughter and her great granddaughter, they're also
they're all
named
her.
Joan.
They're all her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, so this is what love everlasting means. Like it's never ending for her.
Yeah, no, and I think that was the cool thing. And I can't wait to see the Joan that is working the machine, because I assume that's like gonna be
Mhm.
the thing that happens.
It's gonna be so cool.
And that's like, I don't know. Again, it's really good storytelling. I love like that you kind of don't have a hold of it until like this point. Um,
It sounded like my cat was trying to get in. Sorry.
I was like, is the baby coming?
Shit, here it is. Do you think this would be considered like a time travel story in a sense?
I don't, like, part of me says yes, but the other part of me says no, because it's like it's not even dimension traveling.
Right.
I think it's very like comic specific, because it travels comic books
Hmm.
through like a very specific time. It travels like romance and war and like all of those type of comics
Hmm.
throughout Joan's life. Like it's very, like, I think that's part of the reason I like am a sucker for this book, is because it, like, Tom King does play with like, here was these cool books in the 60s, and like this is what like people bought, like,
Hmm.
and what they made those little short stories, and then like traveled it like it like,
Yeah.
because at best you could say dimension, but I really don't think it's a dimension hopping book. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it best, but besides
Because
like
it's
it's,
not, yeah, it's not necessarily traveling through time, but this is where why I asked the question is because like it just restarts the time every single time, but not the same timeline.
yeah, well, and also like, especially like this last timeline, she's like stuck in 1963,
Hmm.
for like 4 issues, 5 issues, like
For the
this
entirety of her
entire,
life, pretty much.
yeah. So she's like stuck in this timeline. I don't know. I think that's a good question, honestly.
I'll write to Tom King and ask
Yeah, I was like,
what he
how,
would consider it.
Tom King, excuse me, sir. What do you do? Like, how would you describe this? Like, how do you
Is this a
describe
time
like,
traveling love story or is it a time jumping love line? Like, what would you call it?
we've watched a lot of like time stuff, so we're kind of stuck on that.
I've seen the butterfly effect. I know how time travel works.
Okay, perfect segue. We're done, right?
We're done. That's everything. Yep.
That's all we've got to say.
Yep.
Um, so thanks for listening to us. As always, it's I know it's a joy for you and me. So go support your local comic book shops, buy some comics. Your local libraries, use all of their fucking resources that you possibly can. Take care of one another. Do what you can. Heather, what you got?
If you need to get your hair cut at all, try crump cuts.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm supporting other local businesses. I just need everyone to know that.
So I hope Crump Cuts is okay with this shout out. I don't know what kind of haircut you will get, but probably be good.
Yeah. I
I've
mean,
seen some,
it's like a classic barber shop, so I'm sure it's like decent, you know. Like you have to have schooling for that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Did they have a little twirly
they
McGee?
absolutely did. Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
It's
so then yeah,
classic.
we do know that they are official. Well, to get a twirly McGig, you do have to actually have a license in barbering.
Yep.
Um, it's on Northwest Radial, probably what, like 50th,
Yeah, I think it would be around there.
right before
It's
Military
yeah, I
Avenue.
was gonna say it's by the curve. I don't know street names. I just know that when we left the shop yesterday, that was the way we went and I saw it.
There's a vacuum shop around that area too. So if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, Crumb Cuts does not sponsor us, but
They should.
we're giving them a shout out now.
I'll shout out every week if I have to. Anyway,
Uh,
that's it.
that's all we got. So we will see you on the flippity flip.
Later.